it is the labor that determines your position in eternity. It is the labor that determines your position in eternity. And there is so much. I told you the other time I was teaching those who've been following me that many scriptures, many verses, in other words, the Bible, the scriptures were written in a way that the common man cannot understand it. The Bible was written in a way that the common man cannot understand it. The leakly mind cannot understand it. That's why many have been reading and cracking their heads, questioning it. They've been reading and questioning themselves, failing to understand what the Bible meant and what the Bible is talking about, because the Bible was written in figures of speech. It was written in figures of speech. It was not written in a straight language, in a straight speech. It was written in figures, similitudes, something that looks or that functions a little similar. What is it talking about when it's talking about the tree of life? What is the tree of life? What is the tree of life? And the reason the Bible was written that way, you understand that it was translated from the original rendering. And when they wrote, they did not have these letters. They did not have letters and alphabets as we do. They were using pictures. The Bible was written with pictures, with images. An image of a tree, an image of a dove, an image of this. Until now, the Bible was written. In the translation of the Bible, you know that King James hired about 47 scholars, and one of the scholars was Shakespeare. Some of you have read you read the books of Shakespeare, and if you read the books of Shakespeare and the poems, you will understand that the language is somehow similar to the language of the Bible. Why? Because the Bible, he was one of the people who translated the Bible. He was one of the people who translated the Bible because somehow people wanted to know what was in the book that was treasured so much. What was in this miracle and so special book? It was a miraculous book. And kings wanted to keep it into their possession, and people wanted to understand what is really in this book that is so treasured so much. It was not just a book of the history, and those that translated it was not even born again. It was scientists, geologists, and scholars. They translated it. That's why when you study the Bible, sometimes you find a fish. He's not even talking about a fish. Sometimes you find this, sometimes you find the sea, you find the garden, you find this. He is not even talking about any of those things at some point. Money was taken from a fish. What are you really telling us? A man in the belly of the fish for 3 days. What is he really talking about? There are more depths that are hidden in the scriptures. There are more depths that are hidden in the Bible. More depths. That is why the leaky man can read and still not be enough. That's why it takes the Holy Spirit to interpret it. So they had to hide certain things, that even though the Bible was given to the masses to read, it was a book that the masses could buy and could get their hands on it so that they will read, but still certain things were hidden from it. Certain things were hidden from the Bible. You can still read it and still remain poor.